fifth graders. Today's video is the last video in your story structure paragraph project. So far, you should have created your story structure organizer. That was day 1. Day 2 was to write the paragraph. Day 3 was to do the Chatterpix video, so you should have that finished, and I should have that on my iPad. If you do not have that done, do so before you get to this step. You should also have your paragraph published on the final copy paper. It should also be cut out and ready for the final step. Today's step is going to be creating your cover page. And how you're going to do that is, first off, you need your published paragraph. This should have been in your work folder. You need a blank sheet of white paper. This will be at the front of the room if you need it. You also need to have your book in front of you. So if you do not have your book, then you might need to get an iPad and Google search the name. Well, you already have an iPad because you're watching this video, so after you're done watching the video, you can just Google search the name of your book and look at the picture online. You also will need colored pencils and scissors and a pencil. Alright, first things first. You're going to take your plain white paper and place your final copy paper on top. Next, you are just going to trace around your final copy paper using a pencil. Oops, that line did not turn out very well, so I'm going to go again. Ooh, my tracing is not very good today. And then I need to trace the final. There we go. And now I have my outline. Next, I'm going to cut along the lines that I traced. So I should have this cut out. You can go ahead and do this with me as I'm going. You don't have to watch the video first. Okay, so there I have my white paper all cut out. You can push your final copy paper off to the side, but now you need to have your book in front of you. So here is my book cover. I am going to draw what my book cover looks like on my blank white piece of paper. And so as you can see, I picked 4 main colors that I saw. I saw that there was blue, red, brown, and orange. If you have more colors, you may need to get more. So just depending on what your cover looks like, that's the colors you need. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start with my red. And I noticed that the title of the book and the author is all in red block letters. So I'm going to do that at the very top of my paper. I'm going to make red block letters for my title. I noticed that the letters are all spaced out. They're not touching each other. They look a little bit more spaced out than I'm doing even on my own paper. So be looking at that. Notice the little things. So I have holes, and I probably should have made it wider. And so just remember to really pay attention to that. I did not do a good job of that, but that's okay. I'm going to keep going for the sake of time. The author's name is also in block letters. However, since it's smaller, I'm just going to write it Normal Lewis Sachar, or Satcher. I'm not quite sure how you say his name. Louis Satcher. Okay, So I have my title and my author name. You should have both of those on your white paper. I'm not going to include this 10th anniversary edition simply because it's not part of the original cover. Same with this medal right here. I'm not going to take my time to draw that because it wasn't part of the original cover. Next, I'm going to draw a straight line across, and then I might go back and just kind of shade blue, because if you see, the whole top part of my book cover is blue. I'm going to leave my block letters not shaded in though, because I'm going to fill those in with red later. So I'm going to keep going, la-di-da, keep shading, and I'm going to stop there because you get the point. You're going to shade until you're done. I would keep shading up there, but I'm going to go ahead and continue on with the picture. Okay. Down at the bottom, I notice there's a boy with a yellow hat. So I'm going to start with his yellow hat. I notice it's a straight line like that. It kind of goes up, curves a little bit, and then comes down. Then I also notice it has kind of like a little tip for the bill of the hat. So there's his hat. He is kind of orangish himself, but I'm going to outline his face with brown just because it's more of a skin color than orange is. So there I have his ear. Next I'm going to do his eyeball. Oh, I forgot, I didn't notice his eyeball is green, so I will need to get a green colored pencil to fill that in. I notice his ear. I might do a little detail there, and then some shading there. His face is kind of orangish right here, and then it's kind of light, and then it's orangish again. So I'm just going to kind of shade. It's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. I don't expect it to be. There we go, there he is. And hold on just a second. Oh, you can't even see it. There it is. I'm going to get my green colored pencil. And I'm going to color in his eyeball. And there we go. That is the boy. He also has an eyebrow, so I'm going to do an eyebrow. And then his hat is orange, so I'm just going to color in his hat. Alright, next I have to do the background. I noticed that on the cover there are multiple holes, it looks like, in sand. So I'm going to start by just making those hole shapes. I'm going to make that hole. That hole looks like the biggest, so my next hole should be smaller than that hole. And if you see the ones in the back, they're getting farther away, so they're getting smaller and smaller. Alright, and then in this guy there's a shovel, so I'm going to draw a shovel coming out of that. And then it looks like this with the handle. There we go. And there's my shovel. Sand is very grainy, so I might do lots of brown little dots all around to kind of make it look like sand. And I'm going to do that all on my picture. Do-do-do-do-do. And then I'm just going to go back and shade. Shade my sand. And I'm just going to finish this picture with shading the brown. And then after I'm done with that, I would go back with my red, fill in those block letters that I forgot to do earlier. finish shading my blue up here, and then I would be done. Now, I'm just going to finish this real quick, and then I'll show you the next step. After you have your cover all colored and finished, it's your best work. Make sure it's 5th grade work. Don't make it sloppy. You're going to take your cover, place it on top of your finished paragraph, like that. And then you're going to take a stapler, and you're going to do 2 staples. One right there, one up at the top, so that when you look at your finished work, you have the cover, you open it up to your paragraph. And that is your final copy. Yay, you're done! Woo! Turn it into the turning basket, and you're good to go.